Did you know that approximately 3.7 million children in the United States were homeschooled in 2023? Imagine how much that number has grown and how much it will continue to grow, especially with the climate that we are in today. So I am hopping on just to share some encouragement to moms that are out there homeschooling and get into this space where they feel like, oh, we're behind. Oh, we finished our first semester and we're looking over things. We're finishing up our homeschool reviews. And then it comes this moment where we as moms, just being moms and not just mom, but the teachers. And we are feeling like, oh my God, we didn't do A, B, and C, and now we're behind. The thing is, moms, give yourself some grace. You are actually never behind. I always like to say that we as homeschoolers are right on time. Most of the homeschoolers that I come in contact with, that I know, we school all year long. We school all year long, so how are we ever behind? Think about it. If anything, we're ahead, we're not behind. So I encourage you to, when you're thinking about you may be behind and you're not doing the thing, just give yourself some grace because we can always adapt what we didn't get to or what we didn't do. We can always adapt to that, right? We can always change our schedule. We can always go back and have a look at things. We do not have to feel like we're behind because we're not. We're not behind. Stop doing that to yourself, making you feel like you are behind. Our babies are not behind. They're fine. All things are well. All are good. And whatever it is that our kids may need help on or need to continue to do, we have the ability to do it. Because listen, we can homeschool all day. Homeschooling does not have to be from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Homeschool may take place from 6 to 9. It just depends on your homeschool, right? That's the one thing about homeschooling that I absolutely love. I The way I set it up for me and our family, right, with our kids, I never feel like I have to go along with this thing. Oh, if he's 7 years old and he's in the first grade, that means every single solitary subject has to be first grade. Absolutely not. Because what I'm not doing is just moving my child along just for the sake of, oh, he's 7 and he's supposed to be in the first grade. I'm not doing that. Absolutely not. I refuse to. Actually, I refuse to. I will not push my child, any of them, to the next grade level just for the sake of they have to be going along with what basically they do in school. No child left behind. Even if the child not ready to go and don't get everything and not grasping all the concepts and all of the things, they still have to go to the next grade. We ain't doing that. We do not do that around here. No, absolutely not. That's why I homeschool. I homeschool to have the ability to meet my children where they are. When the time comes, assess what they need, and we move accordingly. So for me, right now, I have a first grader, right? My first grader, when we started this new school, this 2024-2025 school year, you know what I did? We finished up the kindergarten curriculum on time for learning for him. I ain't feel no type of way either. I do it every single year with all my kids. If we school all year, that's the thing. We school all year long. So in the summer months, we just cover language, arts, and math on a daily basis. All the other subjects we may not do on a daily basis, but we get in there, right? And so when we start back up the new school year, especially if we didn't finish every single thing, the first thing I do is let's go and review. And once I see that they're moving right along and they're getting 85 and 80% and 90%, I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable enough to move along. With my now first grader, when we started up, I knew right away I was not going to just go right into the first grade curriculum. I was not doing that. It was no way in the world. I was like, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. So we started with the kindergarten stuff, and he was doing moving along, right? And then after maybe a few weeks, 4 weeks, I tried some of the first grade stuff, and he did some of it. But then right away, I was like, I'm not feeling this. He's not sure. Let's go back and finish the whole complete kindergarten language arts curriculum on time for learning. And that's what we did. And actually, just a few weeks ago, we finished the full kindergarten language arts on time for learning. So now we have successfully finished that kindergarten curriculum for language arts. And now he's working in the first grade level of language arts on time for learning. And I'm okay with that. So I never get into a place of feeling like, oh my God, because this is A, B, and C, they are behind. They are not behind. We are not behind. We have the ability, because we homeschool, to always be ahead. What are we behind from? What we behind from? Because that's why we're homeschooling. We don't have to be on some type of chart or schedule with our kids and feeling like, oh my God, he ain't do this, he behind. Or even if, for instance, you get sick, somebody in the family gets sick, you got a cold, you got the flu. Most of the times, just like adults, we don't feel good and we don't want to do nothing when we ain't feeling good. We don't want to be doing no schoolwork. So that may be a time where, yeah, no schoolwork is getting done because the kid's not feeling good. They laying down. That's giving you time to nurse everybody back to health and taking the temperatures and giving them the medication, all those type of things. So I feel like we have to get better about giving ourselves grace. Giving ourselves grace. And I know that's easier said than done because as homeschoolers, we always looked at a certain type of way. Oh, we always got somebody trying to test our kids or quiz our kids about this or about that. So we always feel the need to go 10 times harder when it comes to homeschooling and teaching our kids. We always feel the need to do that just because of all of the people around us. There's always something said about homeschoolers. But the thing is, to me, they put all this pressure on what us homeschooler moms and parents need to do. But y'all not doing the same thing with the teachers in the schools. Like I know so many people have spoke about their kid being behind and they're in school every single day. And the thing is, I understand that we are our child's first teacher, right? As parents, we are our child's first teacher. Think about it. They don't go to school until after their fifth birthday. So from newborn until they 5 years old, who teaching them? Either you at home teaching them, they're going to daycare. But at the end of the day, as the parent, we are our child's first teacher. So it's important to make sure that we are doing all the things and giving all the resources we can to our kids, no matter what, because we are their teacher. We ultimately, it's us. We are the teacher. So I just want to encourage you to, whenever you feel like, oh, I'm behind or we behind, look around. Look at what your child has completed. Look at their accomplishments. Look at your accomplishments. Look at what you're doing. And say to yourself, are we really behind? Are we really behind? Because I'm sure you're not. We do this on a day-to-day basis. And most of us that's homeschooling, we're homeschooling because we wanted different for our kids. We knew what values we wanted to instill in them. And we wanted to make sure that they were getting everything that they need and they weren't left behind. So when you feeling discouraged or when you thinking, oh my God, I'm behind, just look around. Look around. I say look around. Look at your kids. Look how they are flourishing. Look at how well you're doing. Just give grace. Give yourself grace and space to know you are not behind. You are ahead. Your family's fine. The kids are doing well. You are doing good because we school all year. We school all year. So how they behind? I feel like they more ahead than behind. They are. They are. And even if it's something that the child needs help on, needs to be worked with on, needs a little bit more extra in this subject or the other, that still does not mean that they are behind. They're right where they need to be. They're right where they need to be because if they need the help on something, then they're gonna get that extra help they need. And then next thing you know, they way ahead. And then you trying to figure out, oh my God, he catching everything. Oh, I can't keep up. I can't keep up. Then ain't no behind no more, is it? Ain't no feeling of being, oh, we behind, we behind. You right there where you need to be. And now they surpassing what you thought was initially behind. They surpassing that. And they no longer behind. You no longer feeling like they're behind because now they done picked up and they moving right through it, they breezing through it. Then it's like, oh my God, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do to keep this baby busy. What am I gonna do? Our kids are not behind. We are not behind. We're right on time. We're right where we're supposed to be, right where we need to be, and everything will be okay. I will constantly tell you to give yourself grace because I know we don't do enough of that. Even myself, we do not do enough of giving ourselves grace. I can recall when our middle daughter was starting homeschool, she was in kindergarten. And that girl did not like, she did, I don't know, she just did not like it. She did not like doing school stuff. She did not like it, y'all. She did not like it at all. And so as a mom, I was like, okay, I don't want to push her. Okay, we're just going to kind of slowly go through it. We're going to do it just slowly, right? I'm not going to pressure her because I didn't want her to feel like she didn't like school. She didn't like doing schoolwork. She didn't like doing learning stuff. So I kind of just went with the flow, right? I basically let her lead. And then when it was time, when we were finishing kindergarten and we was transitioning, she was having problems. She was struggling with different stuff, like reading her sight words. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I failed her. She gonna be so behind. Here we go. She gonna be so behind. She's so behind. But in all actuality, she was right where she needed to be. If I'm thinking about it now, she was right where she needed to be. She wasn't fully ready to get into it. Maybe like my older two were, it was just natural to them. She wasn't ready. And when the time came, we moved right along. She picked up on her sight words. I just constantly sat with her at her speed. I did not make a big deal of it. And here, this is the thing. I'm a certified early childhood educator, so I am used to sitting down with kids, a group of kids. I had a group of 20 kids, sitting down with them, doing circle time every day, all of the routines. So for me, teaching kindergarten was like second nature to me. I could do that with my eyes closed. It's easy work for me, right? And so with her, and I do understand that every child learns at their own pace. They have their own learning style. And for her, it just was like, it's a no for me. She was like, absolutely not, Mom. I ain't with this. I don't want to do it. No. Right. So I just moved at her speed. And when the time came when I was feeling the weight and pressure of her being behind and she not knowing, she didn't know this, and she didn't know that, she didn't know her cyber, all of those things. But I was, feeling, but at the same time, when it was time, she flourished. She picked up on her reading, she picked up on her sight words, and she's been fine ever since. But we had that moment of her really just not wanting to do it. Okay, she did not want to do it. So I encourage you to, you know, follow the lead of your child too when it comes to this. So when you may be feeling behind, go sit beside your child and watch them do their schoolwork. Sit with them and watch what they do. They're gonna show you how much they not behind. Just sit beside them and watch them get down. They're gonna show you, listen, Mom, I ain't behind, I got this. Then that don't mean they may not have no hiccups or bumps in the road, but that's life, right? That don't mean we behind. Watch what they do. Let them show you how much they are not behind and you are not behind as a mom. And even when we get off our schedule or our plan, you can always get back on plan. It's never a time, it's nothing that says you have to be boom, 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 boom on your plan. I know we have things set up like that, but sometimes you just got to go with the flow and give yourself grace. I want to encourage you to continue to give yourself grace. When you're feeling like you're behind, come back to this video, save it. Look at your kids, look around you, see where you guys are at. Go back 6 months prior to that time when you're feeling like you're behind and see where you were at then and then see where you at now. I guarantee you're going to see growth. You will not feel behind. You will not see behind. So I encourage you today to give yourself grace when you're feeling like you're behind and to drop your comments in the comment section and tell me your story. Tell me a time when you felt like you were behind, when you had an aha moment that, yeah, no, we're not behind. Because I like to hear it. I like for us to chat so that we can encourage each other that it's okay and we can give ourselves grace and not feel behind because we're not. I appreciate you guys for watching and being here. And I will see you guys on the next video. Remember, Mom, give yourself grace. You and the kids deserve it.